This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for Monday, January 20th, 2025. I'm Mark Mazurek. Terre Haute-based TransCare Ambulance Service is looking to boost its ongoing support for veterans with a new program to provide a pathway to employment. Operation EMS is an initiative from the emergency medical care provider to give veterans transitioning back to civilian life the opportunity to earn a job as an emergency medical technician. TransCare Chief Operating Officer Justin Farrell said the program can help give veterans the structure they're used to in the military.
So a lot of times veterans, they have trouble finding what they're going to do next because they're used to that structure. They're used to certifications. They're used to different levels that they, get to in their career in the military. So that's that same kind of, concept that we have, but with a high demand of personnel for EMT and paramedics, it just kind of makes sense to target that market.
The Operation EMS program is an 8 to 10 week course that gives on-the-job training by the company's own instructors for participants to earn their EMT license. From there, they could go on to seek a full paramedic license that TransCare says it will pay for. TransCare Ambulance has about 500 employees at locations in Terre Haute, Indianapolis, Clarksville, Columbus, Lafayette, and Louisville. Notre Dame football coach Marcus Freeman felt more comfortable talking about the national championship his players have a chance to win Monday night than the history attached to it if they pull it off. Still, it's hard to ignore the connections between Freeman's fate and all that's happening in the U.S. on the day of the big game, as Freeman is trying to become the first black head coach to capture a Division I college football title. Notre Dame's meeting with Ohio State tonight comes as Americans celebrate Martin Luther King Jr. Day. That Freeman's potential breakthrough comes more than 40 years after a black basketball coach first did the same, and that it comes against a backdrop of a mediocre minority hiring record that has shadowed college football for decades, is a sign of how far those sports still have to go. Notre Dame and Ohio State kick off at 7:30 tonight. From the number one source for Indiana business news, this is Inside Indiana Business Radio.
To succeed, you need to stay informed. You need to be engaged. And let's face it, you need to set yourself apart from the rest by connecting with a company that brings you the best. Because in today's environment, business is an ever-moving target, and we'll help you chase it. IBJ Media. The best of business is in us. Get started at ibjmedia.com/youngprofessional.
Desco Floor Systems, a polished concrete floor installer headquartered in Fortville, is under new ownership after being acquired by Sunflower Industrial in Kansas City, Kansas. Financial terms of the deal are not being disclosed. A spokesperson for Sunflower parent KCN Companies told Inside Indiana Business that Desco employs about 75 people, all of whom are being retained in the acquisition. Sunflower gained a controlling interest in the company through the transaction and says Desco leaders Lee Rezor and Mark Very will continue to lead the company moving forward. The acquisition brings Sunflower's total employee headcount to about 175 people. The addition of Desco marks the company's first foray into Indiana. To celebrate the semi-quincentennial, or the 250th anniversary of the signing of the Declaration of Independence, 6 small communities in Indiana will get to see the history of American democracy up close thanks to a partnership between the Smithsonian Museum Main Street and Indiana Humanities. Throughout 2026, the Smithsonian is bringing its traveling exhibit Voices and Votes, Democracy in America to Indiana, and the group is accepting applications through the end of January as to where it will set up shop. Towns with fewer than 10,000 people are encouraged to apply to have a chance at hosting the exhibit for 6 weeks. Communities that are selected will also receive training from the Smithsonian and Indiana Humanities to help create a unique section in the exhibit featuring their own town. The Voters and Voices exhibit features a series of photos, memorabilia, and archival footage all centered around the topic of voting, campaigning, and participation in democracy. One of the men who helped finance projects all over downtown Indianapolis, Andy Mallon, is this week's guest on the Business and Beyond podcast with Gary Dick, presented by PNC, a weekly conversation with high-profile Hoosiers in business, sports, entertainment, and beyond. Available now from your favorite podcast provider. I'm Mark Mazurek for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.